Well, hi there. It is 5:40 or thereabouts, and time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. Do a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And let's shit in the box. So the big development today is I have got a working settings menu and I have got audio. We have audio. Let's turn that down a bit. Actually, we could just mute it entirely. Turn it back up. We can just turn down the music volume. Or we can mute just the music. And then we've got the other things like our effects. That's a little loud. Still a little loud. There we go. That's better. We can also mute that. And then the test does nothing. And turn it back up. Test still does nothing. Unmute. You can hear that it's actually still playing. If I mute it, you can hear the sound continue when I unmute it. We get the interface volume. Now we don't have sound effects throughout the game yet, but we do have volume controls that work. And if you go in and play, what you'll find is that if you pause and open the settings, for some reason it is not saving the settings when I go back to play. That's a bug. I need to fix that. I need to get that fixed today because I'm still not allowed to play GTA or Starfield until I've got the settings thing working. So what is going on there? I am getting the bus volume for the master bus and the music bus and the effects bus and the interface bus, and that is working for that's working for everything going on there. But why master bus, music bus? That's correct. Yeah, effects, interface, voice. Everything's being set appropriately, and then for some dumbass reason, it's all being reset. They're not being persisted for some reason. Huh. Well, anyway, I will figure that out. That is a thing that needs to be managed. It all should be going to the same audio server. That's fairly obnoxious. Anyway. I've got 5 audio buses set up. These are the 5 audio buses: the master, the music, the voice, the effects, the interface. All of those are set up. All of those are apparently working. They work inside of the settings menu, and then they just stop working for some reason. And I'm not sure why they stop working. I'm going to have to look into that. But in any case, I have got the settings menu working. I have got everything together. And if you actually look at the way the settings menu is set up, it's got everything is localized. It says but. It's button test. It says but because it's a short button. But yeah, all of this is localized. I don't have labels on the mute buttons because I'm not really worried about the design and structure of the menus at this point. I do need to worry about that before release. Like, everything needs to be pretty when you put stuff out into the world, but for the moment, everything's just prototyping. It has to work. That's the important thing. It has to work. So you'll see that in the script for the settings menu, the settings dialog, everything is handled internally. It doesn't really call out to do anything. Whereas if I go to one of the other menus, like just the main menu, you know, if I go over here to the main menu and I open that scene, okay, you'll see that all of the things that I do in here are just emitting new signals. When the play button is pressed, or the upgrade button is pressed, the settings button, the quit button, all of these things emit a signal, and that signal goes up to the previous scene. That goes up into the shell. And it's the shell that actually checks in on all of that and makes sure that things get done. Now, one of the things about is it top menus? No, top menus is what processes most of this. Top menus processes a lot of this, but when you get play level gets passed up to the shell. Play level is passed up to the shell, just like end level is passed up to the shell, and all of that is taken care of. And restart also works much the same way, although restart is down in the playfield. I like to push functionality downstream. What really kind of comes home to roost when you look at it is when you look at, let's go into the top menus and the main menu. When you look at the script for the main menu, you'll see that almost all of the, none of these get trees need to be in there anymore. All of these are just little one-line things, okay? Now, we've talked about the difference between GD script and C# before, but the important thing here is that in GD script, going into your function, okay? Going into the function is cheap, and coming out of the function is cheap, but running the code in the function is fairly expensive. So if you've got a lot of code that runs inside the function, it starts to get to a point where in C#, going into your function is expensive. Running your code is cheap, and coming out of the function is expensive, because you've got that transition from the engine to C# and from C# back to the engine. Now in GD script, engine to GD script back to engine, very fast. But the actual code inside of the function runs an order of magnitude faster in C#. So if you have a whole lot of code in there, if you got a whole lot of things that you're checking, a whole lot of things you're setting, a whole lot of things you're looking at, then you really need to think in terms of moving away from GD script and into C# so that code will execute faster. But if you've just got one line, if you're just catching a signal and running one line of code, it's just plain not worth paying the price of jumping over the wall into C# and then jumping back. You don't want to jump over the wall, run one line of code, and jump back. No matter how fast that line of code executes, jumping over the wall and back takes a lot of energy and a lot of time that you don't need to spend. You should just go ahead and do that in GD script. It'll be faster and easier that way. That's why I had to bang my head against the problem of I'm a real programmer and I don't write toy languages like GDScript, which is a bullshit position to begin with. Okay? I objectively, rationally understand this, but human beings are neither objective nor rational. So I had to fight with myself over that for a really long time because I don't write toy languages. I'm a real programmer. Shut the fuck up. Go write the language you need to write in. Get over yourself. So I had to beat my head against GDScript because GDScript, frequently the objectively correct thing to use, and I learned it and I use it, and I wouldn't say that I'm like excellent at GDScript, but it's fairly simple. I mean, it's not really that. It's a toy language. I mean, you come right down to it, it's a toy language, but it's okay for it to be a toy language. That doesn't mean it can't get the job done. You can get the job done. It's very much a job that you can get done in GDScript. So a lot of this stuff, I'm writing a lot of GDScript as I go through all of this because that's really what I ought to be. That's really what I ought to be working with a lot of the time is GDScript instead of C#. And jumping into C# for every last little thing, not necessary. I'm really starting to consider whether whether the player needs to be in C#. Because I'm looking at the amount of code that's being run in all of the different functions, and I mean, the physics process is kind of big, I guess. But a lot of this is dumb. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing is dumb shit that I shouldn't be doing. And when I start stripping it out and going back to like just the code that absolutely needs to be there, when I understand more about what code's there for me to use, what I have to do manually, what I don't and can rely on the engine to do for me, it's going to get more and more likely that, I mean, as I look through this, you know, I've got about a dozen scripts, and the player constructor is not all that important. Reset player, this is just, I'm just setting some variables and clearing the inventory. I mean, that's pretty basic. A lot of this is GD print calls. Like you collect gold and it's just add to a counter. That doesn't even need to be in the player. That doesn't belong in the player. That belongs somewhere in your stats. That doesn't belong on the player. I got to refactor this into a health object. It's like collect experience shouldn't be on the player. Collect gold shouldn't be on the player. There should be a separate health object on the player. Taking damage should be in the health object, not on the player. Adding an inventory item. Does that really need to be on the player? The inventory can be somewhere else entirely. And look at the size of these functions, you know, they're not very large, they're not very complex. We've got add inventory item, clear inventory. Those belong in an inventory object. And you've just got the physics process. The physics process is big, but how much of this physics process is really necessary? how much of it really needs to be handled in here? Also, why did I put it in the physics process and not just in process? There was a reason I did that, I just don't remember what it was. But yeah, most of this needs to be somewhere else anyway. It's like, that needs to be an inventory object, that needs to be a health object. These need to be a higher object. This needs to be in the health object. This needs to stay in the player. Reset player, that needs to stay. Yeah, so most of this doesn't need to be here. It looks like this is basically one big process object and a couple of objects that are added into the scene through composition. I think that's what that ends up being. And it's the same way with the enemy. I'm looking at this and I'm going, there's a good reason for the player to be C# because it's running a lot of code and it's running that code frequently. There's a good reason for the enemy to be in C# because I've got a lot of them. So that's because there's a lot of code in these things, because they're very large, making them C# makes sense. But all of these menus and whatnot, they don't make sense. They really don't. And I do not know why. I don't know why we're getting the I don't know why we're getting the results we are. Let me take a quick look and see if maybe I can actually resolve this live on video. Maybe. I don't know. So if we go audio server, if you control click on any object in a GD script, it opens the documentation. There are so many wonderful conveniences to working in GD script that's like programmer time alone may make it worthwhile. This will go away as I have more experience working in the engine. But this makes it like when you're looking at a demo project or at a sample, this makes it so easy to go and read the various documentation. Anyway, bus layout changed, bus removed. So input device, blah, 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 output device. Let's take a look at when we set bus mute. So if we set bus mute, that should just stay that way. If we set bus volume linear, if we get bus volume linear, it's the result of dB to linear on the result of get volume dB. dB to linear converts from decimals to linear energy. But what are the units? Let's check. Let's jump into our settings script and we will GD print the master level dot value. If we set it, we're going to GD print the master level value. We're actually going to. Why are we? Identifier GD. Oh, that's because we don't need GD print. We only need that in C#. Print master level value, print master level value, and it's lowercase, isn't it? Yeah, it's lowercase. Okay, so we're going to print the master level value. We're going to print the master level value. We're going to make sure these match. Okay, so, yeah. All right. So we got a couple of prints in here, and we're going to whack enter. We're just going to go... Okay, now okay. 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 Play. Escape. Now, when it was opened, we had a change. It was 0.9. Now, print master level value. Print init. Let's try that again. Stop. We do visibility change. What if we do visibility changed? Okay, so if we come up here to settings and we say, okay, signals, we're going to do on visibility changed. I already have on visibility changed. On visibility changed if a music player if visible music player play, else music player stop, and then we'll do if visible. And then we need to put the colon in there, and then there needs to be a function body. And what we're going to do is we're going to move all of this ready stuff down here. So if we move all of this down here, that should Funk Ready Void, and that should give us a pass. All right. See if this works. Now, do we get an init? We get changed, then we get init. Yeah, we get an init on that. So we get an init to 0.9. Okay, so let's clear that. And now if I go into play and then I pull up pause. Okay, all right. Okay, that is what we needed to. That is what we needed to do, was handle the point that these are being passed by reference, and even though it is a separate scene, it is being passed by reference from one place to the next. Okay, so that is, in fact, dealt with. Save it, though. Go into play. Quit. Go back to the main menu, pull up the settings. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm liking the way that's fitting together. I do need to make this prettier. I do need to I need to make it look better. But yeah, all of that's in place and working. That's good. It is worth noting, I should point out that on the test efforts, the steel bell sound effect that you get on the effects test is by Ben Buncan on Freesound. That's Creative Commons license attribution CC BY 4.0. Same with the vocal samples, which were by Dylan Becker using the voice actress Karen Sanan. That's again CC BY 4.0. Then the interface kind of cracking noise is a PLR hand clap from a dubstep sample pack that I bought back in 2021, I think. And the music is mine. I made that. That's me. I did that music. I did it back in 2005 for my game Railgun. Around May, I think it was. But yeah, that's where things are. We have got all of this stuff together now. That's actually fixed, which means I am now, wonder of wonders, free to play Starfield and GTA, which will give me something to do this weekend, which is really what I was trying to do this week. I really had to buckle in and do this shit because, I mean, we got all of the new shit in GTA that needs to be handled. I need to buy the art gallery. I don't have an art gallery yet, and I don't think I have enough money to get an art gallery yet. I think I only have like 1.3 million, and it's going to cost 3.7. I do get a $1 million discount, but that 3.7 already counts that. So I'm going to need probably another $2.4 million, and that's going to take some doing. That's going to take some. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort. I'm probably going to have to go and do some stuff. Man, do I even give a shit about GTA Online anymore? I mean, like, on some level, I feel compelled to go in and buy the new stuff, but why? I haven't played it in like 2 weeks. I open it to get bonuses, and I grind to get money so I can buy the new shit, and then I have the new shit, and then I don't play it until more new shit comes out. Do I even fucking care? Does it even matter to me? I don't think it does. I think maybe I don't give a flying fuck at a rolling donut what is going on in GTA Online. Man, hearing myself say that out loud, that's like, really? Really? I don't care about you. I've played that game for like 12 years. That's a long fucking time. Of course, I quit playing Skyrim because it won't play nice with my multi-monitor system. So, I kind of understand that. I miss playing Skyrim. Man, it's almost 15 years of Skyrim at this point. That's a long fucking time. You look back and you start looking at all of these games that you've quit playing. Like, I loved Skyrim, and I stopped playing it. And I loved Minecraft, and stopped playing it. Minecraft evolved to the point that I didn't recognize the game anymore. GTA has also evolved to the point that I don't recognize the game anymore, but they keep making it better. They kept making GTA Online better, and they kept making Minecraft stupider and more confusing and more difficult and like adding shit for no good reason. Like, who the fuck cares? We've added crabs. Did we need those? I don't even know if they have crabs. I do know they added goats, and who the fuck cares that you added goats? Like, on top of that, they added goats, and then they said, oh, but there's no goat meat because we don't want people killing animals for their meat. You understand pigs, cows, and fish, right? Like, pigs, cows, fish, sheep, you kill them for their meat. You can't very well do away with that. But goat, you can't eat goat. Why can't you eat goat? Oh, we just don't want them killing the cute little goats. Fuck off. Oh my God. It's like, that's the kind of bullshit. Like, oh God. Anyway. Yeah, I think I'm done with GTA Online. I think I don't fucking care anymore. It's interesting. But that makes things easier because that means instead of going, how much GTA am I going to play? How much Starfield am I going to play? Fuck it, Starfield. I'll play more Starfield. That reminds me, I got to put something out here. I've said this before, but I have to say it again because Bethesda have confirmed next year there will be a new Starborn DLC for Starfield. And I gotta say, I believe the thrust of this Starborn DLC is going to be using the Unity is fucking up the galaxy. Because, bear with me here. You look at the main storyline, and Victor Isa completely ruined the Earth with the grav drive. You look at Shattered Space. In Shattered Space, they tried to meet God with a grav drive, and they destroyed the Scaled Citadel. Everything is all fucked up. And then in Terran Armada, along comes the Armada, and they go, we're going to stop you from ruining your lives. And what do? incursions. Incursions stop you from using your grav drive. I think this is all a big metaphor for global climate change and big oil. It's a bunch of greedy, self-absorbed, self-centered motherfuckers that are just like, I'm going to collect the artifacts and go do the thing that I enjoy doing. With no regard to the environment around them, which they are destroying and refuse to admit they are destroying. And I don't know. I mean, maybe you really don't know, but I've mentioned a few times before. If you go to a Muybridge Pharmaceuticals lab and you read the entries on the computer terminals, this is clearly a unique location. And when you go into the Muybridge caverns, you find the dead body of one of the founders. Every time. There are dozens of them scattered around the galaxy, and there's only supposed to be one. It's clear from the environment. There's only supposed to be one. But they're everywhere. I know some people might go, oh, they're just stupid, and they put it into the pool of random locations where they didn't mean to. I don't think so. I think that's deliberate. I think that's a clue. And I think people are ignoring that. Anyway. Now that I'm free to play Starfield, I should go to... I've been pining away. I haven't been able to see my girl. I mean, there's stuff that I want to do to my ship that I haven't been able to do. There's stuff that I've been thinking about doing that I can't do. I'm in the middle. When I told myself I was not allowed to play Starfield until I finished these fucking menus, I was right at the part of the Crimson Fleet quest just before I get to go do my favorite part, which is the stealth bit through Station SY-930, the part where you go with Juan Dayu to get the comm spike. The mission to get the comm spike. I fucking love that mission. It's a great mission. I adore that mission. It's fantastic. And just as I was getting to that point, I said, you know what? Fuck it. No more Starfield until you bite the bullet and write the GD script and get these menus done. You need to get this shit done. You need to grow the fuck up. You need to do this. And here we are a week later, and I fucking did it. It is your job to motivate you. Nobody is going to motivate you to do your stuff, okay? You have to motivate yourself. And if you've been sitting around pissing and moaning and whining and being a child about it for 6 months because you don't want to learn the fucking toy language. I'm a real programmer. I don't work in scripting languages. Grow the fuck up. Get the fuck over it. Even when you objectively, rationally know this, human beings are not objective. Human beings are not rational. You're not going to behave objectively and rationally. You're stupid and you make bad decisions. It's your job to motivate yourself. And I had to go, no more guitar. No more keyboard. No more DJ console. No more this. No more that. No more the other. You can't draw. You can't paint. You can't sculpt. You can't work on this thing. You can't work on that thing. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. And it's just like, okay. Watch me. I'll be fine. I don't need these things. Okay, fuck you. No more Starfield. Got shit done. You got to find the thing that motivates you. And you can bet I'll be using this again. The next time I have like a serious setback and I'm like not getting shit done and I need to be getting shit done, No More Starfield is going to be where I start with that. And at some point it's going to stop working. At some point it's just going to be, yeah, I don't care. I'll stop playing Starfield. No big deal. I don't give a shit. Now what the fuck? I got to find something else to motivate myself. That will happen eventually, but that's a bridge I can cross when I get there, and I am not there yet. So anyway, we've got a fair amount of progress here, and that is working pretty well. So I'm still nervous about audio stream players. Because it's like, I mean, even in the settings dialog, I mean, just for the testing, I got 4. I have 4 audio players. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this and I'm going, am I going to have to put like 2 audio players in every enemy? That is ridiculous. We're going to have a music player in the level, and we're going to have a music player in all of the different interstitial screens. Because in order to have the music in the level stay reasonably synced with what's going on, I'm going to have to, when you pause, I'm going to have to change the music track and play a different music track. And then when you go back to it, I'm going to have to resume the music track back where it left off so that it actually continues the way it's supposed to continue. And that's going to happen every time you level up, I think. Unless I've been toying with the idea of level ups just being a random stat increase instead of being a little menu where you pick something. Or maybe putting the menu in another place, and you get the stat upgrade, but you also get a pick from a list, and then you can jump into the next. You can jump into another window of some sort and go through and pick all of those. So you get something every time you level up, like immediately, but you don't get like your powers and whatnot. Still not sure what to do when you lose levels from taking damage. I need to think about that a little bit. Anyway, lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff to work on. Again, do the little YouTube dance. Like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.